Hello, this is January from JWR Tutoring, and today we are going to be talking about negative and positive connotative meanings. So stay tuned. Now, before we can get into negative and positive connotative meanings, we have to start with the denotative versus connotative definitions. So the denotative meaning of the word actually means its literal dictionary definition. So if you went to a dictionary and you looked it up, you would find the definition of that word there. However, with the connotative meaning of the word, you are talking about the language that communicates a feeling or idea that is in addition to its primary meaning. So let me give you an example. So we're walking down the street, you and we see a little dog, and the dog is a little overweight. We say to ourselves, that dog is fluffy. He's a little pudgy. Oh, he needs to lose a little weight, right? The denotative meaning of overweight is larger than he should probably be, right? That's a dictionary definition. However, if we said, that dog is huge, now there is an additional meaning attached to it. Not only is the dog overweight, but he is extremely overweight. And we have this imagery in our mind that says, somebody get that dog a diet. Somebody put that dog on a diet really soon. So that's the connotative meaning. So that's a great segue into talking about positive versus negative connotation. When we talk about positive connotation, we're talking about the good or positive meanings that surround a word, right? So think about the word curious. If you're called curious, that means that you like to investigate. When you have a question about something, it leads you into this kind of investigative mode in which you seek understanding. And so everyone who's called curious, that could hold a pretty positive connotation, right? A person who seeks wisdom. This is great. Negative connotative words. These words are words that have a bad or negative meaning attached to them. So instead of being called curious, what if we called you nosy, right? When you think about the word nosy, I don't want to be called nosy. That is definitely a bad meaning. Someone who sticks their nose into other people's business, or someone who doesn't mind their own business, who's always seeking to tell or talk about someone else's business. They're so nosy, right? That's a negative feeling behind that word. Now, there are some words that we would call neutral. They don't have a negative connotation or a positive connotation. They're just neutral words. Right? And so we would call these neutral connotative words. So I think at this point, we should probably stop and have a few examples to make sure that you understand. Now, in the upper corner of each one of these slides, you'll see a little stop sign that says stop and think, or pause and think. And that's exactly what I want you to do. Pause the video and think about the question before we talk about the answer. So let's get started. Question number 1. Which word has a positive connotation? Is it example 1, unique? Is it example 2, different? Or is example 3, peculiar? If you said example number 1, you are absolutely correct. Everyone wants to be called unique. This means that you are one of a kind. There's no one like you. It's great to be unique. No one wants to be like everyone else, right? That word carries a positive connotation. Let's move on to example number 2. Which word has a negative connotation? Is it example number 1, decrepit, example number 2, vintage, or example number 3, old? Now, if you chose example number 1 again, you are absolutely correct. Think about it. No one wants to be called decrepit. If you went up to your grandparent and you said, you're so decrepit, your grandparent would probably, what is wrong with you? Like, your grandparent would be upset, because that word carries a negative connotation. It is beyond old. It is dustly old. Should be in the grave old, right? So we don't want to call someone decrepit. So if you got example 1, you are absolutely correct. Now moving on to example number 3. Which word has a neutral connotation? Is it example 1, confident, example 2, egotistical, or example 3, secure? If you said example 3, you are absolutely right. No one really cares about being called secure. To be honest with you, it's such a neutral word. I hardly ever hear anyone being called secure. However, if someone called me confident or said I was a confident woman, I would feel like, oh my, that's such a great compliment because that word has a positive connotation to it. But if someone said you're egotistical, I would get this face like, why would you call me that, right? Because that word has a negative connotation to it, right? So, but to be called secure, it's neutral. No one cares. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more of these videos. Also, head over to JWR Tutoring. I have courses available there and, of course, private tutoring for those of you who need it. I am happy to assist you in any kind of way. Have a wonderful day, you guys.